The H.E.C. The H.E.C. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Dose of H.E.C. This is a small passion project. I'm going to see how many of these I can churn out. These are going to be a lot shorter videos, but basically it's just going to be me giving my opinions on some things that happened today, or me trying to be as comedic as some of the situations that have happened today. Now, today is June 23rd. So, we're still in the midst of a fucking pandemic. We are basically surrounded by germs. We all have to try to make ends meet with what we got, and the government's not helping us at all. Well, it is trying, which is basically stalling. Okay, but nevertheless, let's just get to the main thing I want to talk about today. God damn it, I want to talk about some fucking NASCAR. Alright, so Bubba Wallace was a recent driver. He's been the sole African-American driver of NASCAR. And to be honest, I kind of fell off of NASCAR because some of the fucking fans of NASCAR are trash. Like, literally annoying fucking downward hicks who are a pain in the ass and who are kind of fucking racist. But before shit was getting out of hand, now we have these protests in the midst of all the George Floyd things going on, and in the midst of Black Lives Matter, and in the midst of trying to get basic fucking human decency to prevail and ensure that equality is fine. I kind of figured that would be the social norm by now. But nevertheless, it's not. But that being said, I just want to keep it 100, man. I fell off of NASCAR completely. And I used to watch it as a kid. I really did. My uncle worked at Lowe's. Shout out to Tio Rafita. But anyways, he used to work at Lowe's, and he would show us all the Jimmy Johnson shit. So I have, like, collectibles now. And to be honest, when I had moved out of my apartment, I was honestly thinking of selling those collectibles because I'm just like, I like Jimmy Johnson, man, but I just fell off of NASCAR. I don't like watching it. It's kind of boring to me, and the fans of it kind of just turned me off of it completely. But then, as these changes were going on, NASCAR pulled something that I didn't see coming, and they actually decided to get rid of all the fucking Confederate flags. So, I was curious to see how that would go. And sure enough, I go on Twitter, official_H.E.C, and I see everybody is losing their goddamn mind. You have the people who are justifying it, which are people who don't watch NASCAR, and they admit it, and that's what all these racists try to hold back against them. Well, you don't watch it, so why is it? Because when you're making it inclusive, now we're going to watch it. I watched the nearest race, and holy shit, man. So, before I watch the most recent race, let me give a basic synopsis of what happened. So, Bubba Wallace, there was a noose that was found in kind of like his stall and kind of like his garage. And in the midst of people who have just been mysteriously found hanging and that have been ruled as suicides, yeah, it's kind of not the message that you want to send, and it seems like something that they would do. I mean, they were in Alabama, not the safest of places for people of color like myself and others. But anyways, and in there, we see that NASCAR, he didn't see it. NASCAR had stated a statement that say, hey, we're launching an investigation into this. We found this noose in his, garage area, and we're not down with that shit, so kudos to NASCAR, man. And then, on NASCAR's move, I don't think Bubba Wallace said, no, this is what we need to do, No, on NASCAR's move, they had probably one of the most beautiful fucking moments I've ever seen in NASCAR. Like, I was joking around and never really considered NASCAR a sport and kept on talking shit about NASCAR time after time. I mean, the Jeff Dunham special itself kind of just killed the fucking enjoyment of NASCAR too. But nevertheless, when they had that opening lap and they had walked with Bubba Wallace's vehicle and they had all stood in solidarity and they had already had that commentary and that beautiful instrumental, man. I think that instrumental is what made it the goddamn teary-eyed spectacle that it was, but it was a beautiful scene, man. It was a nice scene. It was a stand of solidarity. He was in the vehicle. He then hopped out. He was received with a bunch of hugs by his peers, given hugs and everything, and shown peacefully. Well, now it is June 23rd, so now we found out some details. Now, people have found out after the investigation was done, because these drivers, to show solidarity with their personal friend, or probably not their personal friend, who knows, but their coworker, to show solidarity with their coworker who got messed with, stood and marched with him, they decided to do that for Bubba Wallace. But anyways, it come to be found out that, hey, that noose was just hanging there to close down the garage, and unfortunately, we didn't think too much about that when we assigned Bubba and his team to there. We didn't check it beforehand and see maybe some shit might be deemed as a little bit inappropriate. So, hey, it's a small, simple mistake. But NASCAR, in their statement, which I think was nicely put, goes like this. NASCAR statement. The FBI has completed its investigation at Talladega Speedway and determined that Bubba Wallace was not the target of a hate crime. The FBI report concludes, and photographic evidence confirms that the garage door pull rope fashioned like a noose had been positioned there since as early as last fall. This obviously was well before the 43 team's arrival on garage assignment. We appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation and are thankful to learn that this was not intentional. Racist acts against Bubba. So they're glad it's not a racist act against Bubba. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all who love racing. And I think that's what these people are pissed about. So you have all these individuals. I want to say individuals because I don't want to say whites, because it's not all fucking white people. Unfortunately, if you go on Twitter, it's just a majority of white people. But again, this is America. There's a reason we're called minorities, because we're not the majority of people. But you have these racists who are already mad, and I clicked on their profiles. Normally you're supposed to just look at what they say, but no, I click on your profile if I'm going to respond to you to see what type of mindset I'm dealing with here, just to see. And also to verify that you're not a bot, because those are very popular. Anyways, the majority of these people were the same ones who were complaining about the Confederate flag being taken down. And in fact, goddamn, people worship the Confederacy, but the damn thing only lasted 4 to 5 years. ECW lasted longer than the Confederacy, man. That Heinz colored ketchup lasted longer than the Confederacy. Hell, I'm pretty sure soccer boppers lasted longer than the Confederacy. But nevertheless, the whole thing goes to show that this investigation said, hey, this noose was not meant to be racist. It was just meant to just put the door down. But nevertheless, as a Boy Scout, there's different knots you could use to close the garage door. But that's a separate story. I'm not going to try to use that. But hey, NASCAR said, hey, it was a mistake. We didn't mean to assign him to there, and we didn't mean for that noose to be there. But still, racism is bad. And for some reason, that's getting under people's skin. The people who have already wanted to call it fake, who already wanted to do all this, and they want to compare it, and so the stupid-ass hashtag of Bubba Smollett was trending. However, what people don't know is that Jesse set up that situation by himself. Bubba did not. But I guess all these people here is black man fake, and because they don't have the mental capacity to put it together, that's what they're going to run with. So anybody who runs with that shit, you're a fucking moron right now, and I'm just telling you this straight from the heart, and you could take one of these, alright? The reasons I don't like watching NASCAR anymore is because of fans like you and because of some stupid-ass drivers. You know why? When that fucking Confederacy flag ban was put in, one of the drivers left because he didn't like the way it was going. And you know what? He didn't even fucking win. Just like the Confederacy. Didn't fucking win, and to be honest, I don't see any statues of him being made anywhere, and I'm glad all these fucking shitty statues of these Confederate people are getting torn down, or if not, relocated to a museum, which is where they should have fucking stayed, to be honest. Alright? You know why I hang a bunch of Jimmy Johnson shit? I have a bunch of Jimmy Johnson shit from my childhood that I still keep, because Jimmy Johnson is not an asshole. One graphic designer was saying some racist shit, Jimmy Johnson cut ties from that motherfucker immediately. You know why Joe Nemechek's shit is just put in the back of my shit and I don't give a fuck about it? Because Joe Nemechek sucks. He couldn't even fucking really win that much, to be honest. I remember watching racing as a kid because he had the Army car, and holy fuck, man, I've never felt more of a failure from the Army than goddamn Vietnam. But nevertheless, the point of this, with the Daily Dose of the H.E.C, is for me to basically get a rant going and to be more comedic about it. But this one, I'm just more or less going to be more ranting. And because I don't get why people are so quick to goddamn defend the Confederacy. It lost. It didn't win. It was an enemy of the state. There's a reason that when the Nazis couldn't fly the Nazi flag after the fucking World War II ended, that they ended up flying the Confederate flags. Because it was just the same ideology, alright? Just changed the Jews into the blacks, and there you go. Only difference is, as fucked up as this might sound, at least Nazis were successful. The Confederacy fucking sucked. They've been sucked and they've been trash. And I get it. People want to defend things that might have had the Confederate flag and not know it. Hell, alright? I'm a country fucking kid. I grew up poor as fuck. Probably why I like NASCAR. But anyways, I had the love and support from my dad and my mom, and even when they moved up, they let us watch the shows that they would watch. So I get it, you want to defend the General Lee. Look, I want to defend the General Lee too, but that's because when we think of the General Lee, we think of the badass car and the fucking amazing horn, and the fucking Duke boys escaping the law, which is funny how, if you really think about it, if there was any people who needed to be shot after having a confrontation with the police, it'd be the fucking Duke boys for all the shit that they were pulling off and getting away with. So don't tell me some shit about white privilege not existing, alright? Let's be honest. Duke boys, had this been realistic, they would have probably been shot like 4 fucking times as soon as they would have took off. Just a matter of fact. Alright? You like Daisy Dukes, but that's probably because you like ass and small jeans. It's not because you support the Confederacy. So I get it. The General Lee, it's an iconic car from my childhood. I fucking like it. But I also know that the top contains a flag that's fucking racist and is named after a guy who had led the Confederate Army. Now, some could say he was against slavery. That might be true, but at the end of the day, you still ended up being one of the main fighters for it to remain. So unfortunately, if you're fighting for something to remain, even if it goes against your beliefs, you are now standing for a cause that you don't believe in, which, if anything, makes you more pathetic. But anyways, all I know is, after that beautiful fucking video for Bubba Wallace, I'm not going to try to make up some shit to hate NASCAR. I'm going to go rewatch NASCAR with an open mind, the same way I did when I had watched it on, I don't know if it was Monday or Sunday, but when I had watched the most recent race. It was a beautiful thing. If NASCAR is going to put the effort, that we need to support, alright? The same motherfuckers who told Paramount, I believe, to fuck off with that original Sonic design and come to us with some new shit, we need to show that if you listen to us, we will respond and we will do what you ask and we will give you the attention, because now you have shown that you are equal for us. So now I'm fucking glad, man. NASCAR's had some women drivers. Now it's had a black driver. I think they've had some Hispanic drivers. I don't know fully yet, but I'll be glad to see these races. And regardless, hell, I was surprised as fuck to see Jimmy Johnson was still racing. So hell, Jimmy Johnson's my favorite. That's my GOAT. Get the fuck out of here with that Dale Earnhardt Jr. bullshit. I mean, he's a good person too. I mean, his father, he told a story about his father taking off the Confederate flag sticker because it offended the woman who was his son's caretaker. So that, beautiful story. And if you really want to be icons of these people, of these GOATs in NASCAR, if you want to be a fan of a GOAT in NASCAR, then don't be racist, because they're not fucking racist, alright? If you want to be a fan of trash and the motherfuckers who don't win, then go support Joe Nemechek and that motherfucker who left because he couldn't win, just like the Confederacy, and got mad that this red flag, which is basically adults trying to be edgy teens. Oh, we don't trust the government. Look, you're just trying to be edgy teens. God damn it. Alright? Stop it. Alright? If anything, you're kind of worse than Antifa. Actually, you've been worse than Antifa. Antifa, from the most part, just been a lot of protesters. There's some radicalized minority within that who is attacking people, but for the majority, fuck off with that bullshit. Alright? I'm gonna be fucking watching NASCAR, god damn it. I'm gonna be cheering for Bubba Wallace. I'm probably gonna be cheering for Jimmy Johnson more, but that's because nostalgia and childhood. But I'm going back to watching NASCAR because NASCAR put the effort to say, hey, you know what? We're tired of being associated with fucking racist assholes, and we're going to make things better for the change. So you know what? I'm going to be a supportive individual and said, you made the change, you are willing to make the change, so I'm going to be willing to watch you. And all I could hope is that these other sports and corporations do the same. That's your daily dose of the H.E.C. I'm out of this bitch. Remember, you can't OD on the H.E.C. Yeah.